My name is Rhapsody and welcome to Dark Souls, the JRPG that hates you. It's a JRPG, but it is inspired very heavily by Western RPGs. Let's quickly get into it. New game. Let's name the character after ourselves. My name is Rhapsody. Sex, male, because last time I checked, that's what I am. I'll go with the warrior. The gift I'm going to take is the Master Key. I'll explain that a little bit later. I'm going to make it very slim in stark contrast to reality. Short and dark brown hair. As soon as I click accept, the opening cutscene will play. So just before I click accept and the opening cutscene plays, let me just say, enjoy the opening cutscene.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death. And of course, light and dark. Then from the dark, they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. The first of the dead. The Witch of Asylum and her daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. Seeth the scales betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign.
Here's hoping you enjoyed that intro cutscene and the story contained therein, because that's basically the only story, that and the upcoming dialogue, that the game will ever present directly to you. It's very much show rather than tell in terms of storytelling.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land,
The undead are corralled and led to the north, I hear.
The undead are corralled and led to the north.
Oh, I heard right. Is that where they await the end of the world, by the way?
Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
Oh, it is. Good. Glad to hear it. I just really, like, hearing that, that's horrible. I really hope, just ultimately, deep down in my heart, that that isn't my fate.
This is your fate.
Fuck. So having had a look at the cursory little glance at this cell, all I can see, like, as our only means of escape would be the sunroof. But it's probably difficult to climb up there. Someone would have to, like, drop the key in through the sunroof for us to actually escape. Somewhat like that. Howdy, Oscar. How you doing? We'll talk a little bit more about Oscar later. It may become apparent to some of you at this point that I have played this game before, maybe once or twice. But there is a lot of content in this game that is completely optional that I just straight up skipped. Okay, so we're going to be dropping all of our items. Or at least our armor and our weapon. Because we'll get better weapon later, and we run faster if we're naked. And also have higher stamina regeneration. Which is the green bar below my health bar. Any video game convention will tell you the red bar is my health bar. That is the stray demon. Get a good look, guys. Look at that butt wiggling it about. Oh, baby. We're gonna get all up in that in about 20 episodes' time. But for now, let's go find your friend. Actually, for now, let's talk about Oscar. Oscar has heard a prophecy in his family and believes that by, I guess the good word would be freeing the undead from the Undead Asylum, he can set the prophecy in motion. We are one of the undead he's freed. Alright, so here's our first boss right here. This is the Asylum Demon. So you might see we're doing 2 damage. That's lovely. Let's just quickly take this guy out, doing 2 damage per strike. Or, alternatively, as intended, you can just run away. You're not even supposed to actually do the first combat. No. Okay, heater shields. I'm only taking the heater shield for one reason. And that's because I usually wouldn't pick up the shield, but I am taking the shield this time because I made some mistakes in previous attempts to record this game that could have been avoided had I had a heater shield. So the combat in this game, for anyone uninitiated to the Dark Souls series, it's very much about timing, but also about positioning. If you parry riposte, you can do a lot more damage than you should. Well, a lot more damage, just in general. And if you backstab, you can do a lot more damage, and you lock yourself in invincibility frames while doing so. So hello, Oscar. This is a little example, this kind of tableau that we're looking at here is an example of the way that the game tells story. There's no way to get into this room. Look. Cave in, cave in, cave in. We had to roll a boulder to break down that door in order to get in. The only way he could have got in is if he was plunged through the roof. And that's exactly what happened. The Asylum Demon plunged him through the roof. And we have to look at the environment in order to surmise that.
Oh, you. You're no hollow.
No, we aren't, Oscar.
I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you?
I will, but for just a second I will explain what hollow means. Hollow is when an undead has died so many times that they've completely lost all traces of sanity, and they become a mindless, marauding meat husk. What is your decision? Yes, we'll hear him out.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family, "Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the Undead Asylum, maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know."
That's the prophecy.
Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
So this is going to be a healing item that we are going to use
And this.
to top up between battles. And that is required for... Oh, he basically... Sorry, I accidentally cut off his dialogue there at the end. He just said, now go, I would hate to harm you. Basically when he becomes hollow. Slice and dice, motherfucker. Okay, so we're mostly going to be two-handing this weapon rather than using the shield, but at very specific point, as soon as we get to Lordran, we actually will need this, this shield. What? Okay, so as I said, combat is all about timing, and apparently I have none. Broken straight sword. Yeah, I'm not going to take that. Well, I mean, I am, evidently, because I already have. That's a backstab just to demonstrate that. I want to demonstrate parry riposte, so I'll actually fight this optional guy over here. Bang! So you parry away the weapon, and then the opponent is stunned for a second, and you can stab the... Well, just a standard attack initiated near them will stab them through the chest. Two-hand the weapon, and this is our first boss fight. We actually now have a weapon, so we can fight the Asylum Demon. And this is kind of like a tutorial fight, I guess, would be the easiest way to describe it. It's here to show you an example of how you should be combating bosses in this game. And this is literally how you combat a lot of the bosses in the game. It's always a very similar, well, not always a very similar strategy, but it's often a very similar strategy of the castration strategy, I like to call it. You stand between their legs and slice at their nuts. Until nothing remains. Oh, and obviously roll away if they do any, like, butt slam attacks. Alright, time for the next cutscene. I think it's actually the last.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
I don't know why calling it Lordran, the land of the ancient lords, I don't know why that sticks out to me as something that seems odd or just kind of like not particularly imaginative, but it does. But then again, it has been translated from the original Japanese, so a few things in this game don't particularly carry the connotation that they would in that language or sound as smooth as they might. I guess the best example of that is there's a boss called Ceaseless Discharge. Yep. They named a boss after one of the severe symptoms of chlamydia. Yeah, I'll level up the strength mostly. Okay. So now I'm going to do just a few things. There's a kind of path that I've routed out for the opening here. Unfortunately, it does rely on RNG, so this is, I think, maybe the 5th time I've recorded this first episode for Dark Souls. Yeah, I'll be completely transparent about that. That's why I knew the opening dialogue off by heart. I have played the game outright before as well, but also I've played it very many times recently, just that opening cutscene. There is a drop that I need an enemy to, well, drop, I guess. And hopefully it works this time. If it doesn't, then we're not going to restart, but we will go for a different weapon, and if that doesn't work, we won't restart, we'll go for a different weapon, and if that doesn't work, well, fuck. Okay, so I got both of the things I need. Now I'm going to set up my inventory. Actually, that's correct. So first, I'm going to pop the 4 humanity. This is going to increase a number of our resistances. You'll see right next to our health and stamina bars the number of our humanity popped. We are currently going to be holding 4. This is going to show... This is going to increase our resistances and our item find. So hopefully, we are very, very hopeful here. Huh? Try jumping, of course not. Not a goddamn chance. Other players can leave messages in the world. This game is mostly single player, but there are online components to it. And that's one of them. Other players can leave messages in your world. The item find increase from humanity ceases at 10 humanity popped. So if there were, 6 more easy to get humanity really early, I might have gotten them, but right now I'll just carry on with these 4. It's weird, when I'm not recording, I usually find this weapon. So here we are in the Valley of Drakes. We took the Master Key, as I said that I will explain about later, in our character selection. We chose the gift to be the Master Key. And that's going to allow us to unlock a number of areas that we shouldn't be able to unlock, or that we have no godly business unlocking this early in the game. And that's fine. It means that we can make the world, even though it already is very, very open and freeform, we can make it even more open and even more freeform. If we were to take any other items from this guy, by the way, he would wake up and start attacking us, so not particularly interested in having that happen, and therefore, I won't take them. So there's 2 items I want down, well, 3 items I want down in this area. One of them is a random drop, 2 of the other items are items that I can straight up get. So I need to duck to the left to get this guy to fire, and then jump to the right. What? No! Don't do it! Okay, so his damn it. Please, fuck off. Okay, so his tail can randomly clip onto your foot, like it just did there, and he can throw you off the cliff. Not intended, it just clips to your foot. That's not supposed to happen. Luckily, this time it didn't prove fatal. That probably would have ended up in me restarting again, because I'd lose my humanity. Very glad that didn't end up happening though. Okay. So up here there's going to be a bonfire. We're not going to use it because the Homeward Bone, this item, that I made sure to pick up in the first time, will transfer us back to the most recently rested at bonfire. So it'll transfer us back to Firelink Shrine. And that's what I want. I don't want it to transfer us back to that bonfire there. So this is a shield with 100% physical resist, which means that we can block literally all of the damage from his attacks. The other shield that we just picked up is called the Grass Crest Shield. I particularly prefer it, actually. And the Grass Crest Shield is very well known for the fact that it has stamina regen on it, but it's also not a 100% resist. So we're not going to be doing much damage to this guy. What our hope is that he puts himself in a poor position, which I've done, not him. He actually can't come into this cave. He just loses aggro if you go into this cave. We're hoping that he puts himself in a poor position. Yep. And then, damn it. We're trying to backstab him to kick him basically off of the ledge. Go back in here. Estus Flask up. Oh, this can be a little dicey. And I have died here many a time before. Basically by being knocked off by this guy. Huh! Okay. That's not going to be close enough to the ledge, I don't think. Okay. Just jump back. Jump back. There we go. Black Knight Halberd. Damn it! Blue Tide Knight junk. It's not the one I was looking for. Okay. He can drop his weapon, which is the Black Knight Halberd. It costs a lot of stats to use, but my oh my, is it ever powerful. It's, for the longest time, it was the basis for speedrunning this game. Just get the Black Knight Halberd, get the stats to use the Black Knight Halberd, and then use it for the most of the rest of the game. But, we didn't get it. So now we're going to be going for another item called the Red Tearstone Ring. So we're gonna have to dodge more dragons. Well, dragons. Drakes, sorry. It already said it in the name, the Valley of Drakes, right? So we have, as I've said before, absolutely no business being here. We'll do it anyway. Oh shit! That is the first time the lightning has ever gotten that far up to actually hit me. If it knocked me off, well, I'd be fucked. So there's the Red Tearstone Ring, and there's the Homeward Bone that we brought with us. So we can get the fuck out of here. Excellent. Back at Firelink Shrine. I will pop... Hang on. I'll pop the Soul of the Proud Knight. Is that the only one I got? No, I got the large soul and name of soldier. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to use those to level up. Now, when you pop souls, the usable items, you gain souls, which are your currency and experience, combined both in this game. Actually, this doesn't need to be that high yet. Okay. That's fine. So, by base, our item discovery is 100. With 4 humanity popped, it is 173. So it's actually a huge increase, almost double. If I wanted to be a speedrunny dude, I would just run through all of these guys. I wouldn't combat any of them. But last time I tried that, I got myself, well, they ripped my shit in twain. So instead, I'm just gonna backstab hunt them. I'm gonna try and time myself so that that guy doesn't throw a firebomb at me. Well, at least he'll throw a firebomb at me, but it won't hit. Okay. Parry and kill. While you are in backstab or parry animations, you can't be hit by anything. Which is absolutely lovely. And you're gonna see us use that to our advantage so many times in this series. Get the fuck off. Backstab. So, again, that guy tries to strike me, but it doesn't work because I was in an animation for something. Get the fuck off. Get the fuck off. Okay. Wait, did that not kill him? Oh shit, he landed, and he's alive and well. Oh well, I'm not gonna go down and kill him. I'll come over and collect this. So I'm collecting these souls. You collect souls not only from fighting enemies, but... Oh, okay. You want some more, do ya? You can collect souls from fighting enemies, you can collect souls from usable items, you can collect souls from killing bosses. That's another really good way of doing it. Also, for the moveset of this weapon, by the way, movesets of different weapons are really, really important to know, right? If I use like a wide swing in a shallow corridor, thin corridor, sorry, I guess I should be saying, I would probably not make contact. Easy. Easier. And... easiest. Whoa! Didn't do as much damage as I was... Oh, right, because I'm not two-handing. There we go. Fog walls sometimes mean enemies. Well, sometimes mean boss on the other side, but sometimes they don't, so it can be a little confusing. I luckily do have a fair idea of the ones that mean bosses and the ones that don't. At least... Whoa, okay, I was fishing for a backstab there. And that was going to be how I was... Yeah, there we go. So now, look at all these enemies striking at me and not hitting anything. That's the whole point. I want to be in backstab animations as long as I can in fights, so that I never have to deal with enemies actually getting to take a hit at me. Easy. Okay, this is going to be one of the first bonfires we're going to use. And it's going to play a pretty big role for us, because we'll be able to loop back around to this area from a bunch of different areas. But for the moment, 25 minutes into the episode, let me say that my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been... I wanted to say The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. The name of the game has been Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself. If you have, please click like. It does help me get my content out to new people, especially here on the first episode. That would be really appreciated. There will be a playlist in the description down below for all of the other Dark Souls content that is to follow. Hopefully you'll be enjoying yourself. We'll see you next time.